Hey folks, it's Stephan here, and we're beginning another Let's Play series, this time with Goetia, where you play a ghost, trying to unravel the mystery of your family's disappearance and what happened to the manor where you grew up briefly and died at a young age. Sound has particular importance in Goetia, especially in certain puzzles. For optimal experience, sit in a quiet and dark place and put on headphones. I suspect that will go for you viewers as well. You might get a better experience if you watch this in a darkened area. Okay, so this is you. Is this a gravestone? It is. I can't see myself. There's no one here. It's not clear why, after all these years, she's suddenly woken up. Am I? No, this isn't right. Good, it seems I can still move, in a way. And I can also see things. For example, this tree. But I don't feel anything. Stay calm. Something's wrong. Think, Abigail. I know this tree. I'm outside the manor. I just need to think. No, this is wrong. I need to find help. Help. Father. Mother. Annie. In the journal, Abigail writes down all of her thoughts. Each time this notebook icon appears, you can see her latest ideas regarding recent events. Perhaps they'll reveal some hints about her next goal. Press J to open the journal. So here's the journal. We have the awakening. I am Abigail Blackwood, daughter of Abraham and Helena Blackwood, and Annie's sister. To be honest, that's all I remember after the fall, and my final scream. I don't really understand what I am or what's happening. I need to find help. I need to find my family. And she will just follow the cursor around. It floats around in here. If there is something that you can actually interact with, the cursor will change. Abigail Blackwood, 1890 to 1902. Well, at least that makes things clear now. So she was only 12 years old when she died. Too bad. Sounds like she actually fell out of something. Alright, so we can look at the tree. I like this tree, but in my memories, it was a bit more impressive, even in winter. I remember the path to the village, but I'd rather stay here for now. I don't think I'm very presentable at the moment. Alright, so that leaves us only this way to go. Clues. By holding control, you can highlight every noticeable element in the game. A magnifying glass will appear on every clickable object. So if we hit the control key, we'll see that there's one clickable thing here. That's strange. There's a hexagonal shape carved out of the pedestal, as if something had been taken out. I don't think I saw that before. So we can't do much more with that, but it probably means we need to be on the lookout for a hexagonal shape. Now we have a gate here, but since we're just a little blip of a ghost, we can pass through there. Blackwood Manor, just like in my memories. I was born and died here. I remember this window. That's where I fell. It was cold. No leaves on that tree. We're still in winter, but I don't feel cold. A map. Abigail's progress is displayed in real time on the map. The map will show you which rooms you've entered and those that are still out of reach. Be sure to check it regularly. You can also teleport to some rooms directly. You can hit the tab key to get to the map, though. Here's where we are right now, Blackwood Manor, right out front. Doesn't seem like we can show anything else on it at the moment. A light. Maybe there's someone who can help me. And then there's a door that we can go in. How do I get in? Going through the gate was easy, but such an obstacle. So she can't go through the door, but there happens to be an open window up here, which is the window I think she was referring to, falling out of. Impossible. It's terrifying, but rather handy. Okay, so here's some very unusual portraits. This one, apparently we can look at, but she just says ... It's interesting it doesn't have a mouth. It's like the mouth has been obliterated. I'll continue on this way. Now, there's interesting writing up here. Someone's drawn some symbols here. Does this have anything to do with demonology, Father's studies? I can't work out which demons these symbols represent. I really need help. And we can check the journal to see what she's found here. The manor is empty, and there are no signs of its inhabitants. I can feel a presence, however, and it seems it was abandoned only recently. Some of the walls and ceilings bear sigils. I've seen them before. Father used to study them. Did he draw them? And why do they prevent me from going deeper into the manor? I might find some answers on the upper floors, but first of all, I have to get through these barriers. Okay, so apparently they are preventing us from moving, so when these get highlighted, we can't go that way. There's objects we can interact with here, so let's check out what we've got. Books on botany and chemistry. Nothing I need right now. There's a piece of paper here, which we can look at. And this looks like a demonology symbol similar to the ones that we were seeing over there. The Codex. Each note, journal, book, and poster you read is stored in the Codex. No need to retrace your steps. Everything is here. Press C to open the Codex. Alright, so then we've got this. I guess this is telling us that it's in the manor, and there's other locations that Codex will have stuff for, and then we can just click it again to see the full-sized version. So this one that's circled, I guess, is probably something we need to keep in mind. Let's see, there's some other stuff here, though. We've got a clock. It doesn't look like any of the clocks in the manor are working, but I'm not particularly worried about that right now. It'd be interesting if we could see these things that are posted there, but we can't. Alice in Wonderland? What's this doing in Mother's library? There's a note hidden between the pages. The handwriting's rather clumsy. It doesn't look much different from mine. It must have been written by a child. Edward, Alexander and I sneaked into Father's laboratory, and we found something interesting. There's this weird powder. I will show you how it reveals hidden writings. Know this, you just have to pour the powder on the paper to reveal the ink. Alexander told me to keep some of it. Now we can start writing coded messages. R. So Edward and R. Alexander and I. So I don't know if there would be a message right in here. It looks sort of like it's lighter there for some reason. But we would need some of the powder for that to be able to do anything, so... I think that's all we can do in here right now. Just move on. Alright, more interaction. There's all kinds of jars here, but nothing that'll help me understand what's going on. I've never seen this dresser open. I think Father was hiding important documents inside. I can't open it. Well, there's a rack of keys here. One of Father's most disconcerting hobbies. Collecting keys for which there is no keyhole. Yes, well, but we can open that. Why would anyone hide the Virgin Mary behind lock and key? Okay, possession. Abigail just possessed an object. She is now able to move it, use it, or combine it with another. On the other hand, as an object, Abigail gains a foothold in the world of the living and has to accept its rules. No object can cross a wall. Right-click to leave the object. So we can hover around in this and we can see that there was something behind this. So we can just put it down. See what this is. I really want to know what that switch is for. Okay, it's a switch apparently. So let's hit the switch, and it opens this. Something important has been hidden in this cupboard. Some accounting invoices, deeds of property, and what's this? It is a death certificate. Certified copy of an entry of death. Death in the subdistrict of Coventry, Northeast. in the Metropolitan Borough of Coventry. 29th of October 1939. That looks like Abrakan. Edward Christopher Blackwood. Oh, Abraham. Edward Christopher Blackwood. Male, 76 years old, professor of literature, lung cancer. Certificate received from somebody. So it's her father's death certificate. Why would her father's death certificate be in there? A death certificate with father's name on it. That's impossible. I can't believe it. He was 76? But how? What happened to me? What about Mother and Annie? 1939. My last memories date back to 1902. This must be a bad dream. So much of this doesn't make any sense. I need to understand what's going on. Father's laboratory. He must have taken notes. Maybe his research can help me. And there was a journal entry. It's 1941. Almost 4 decades have passed, but in a few seconds. Father's gone, and probably Mother too. What about Annie? She must still be alive. She'll have answers for me. Okay, so there's some different symbols here, and these ones are in blue. These walls clearly don't want me to go through them. Is there a way to get through? This is the symbol that we had seen in that drawing. Let's see, we need the codex. It's this symbol here. Scrawled all over this in blue. It seems to be barricading us from going that way. Let's see what we have down here. Okay, there's some more of this stuff along here, so we can't go that way. We can check this plant, though. These don't look like Mother's plants. She always liked flowers better. Someone's been looking after them, though. Someone's taking care of the plants. Different plants, different books. Something is going on here. And there was a drawer that we can open. Very loud drawer sound. I never really liked newspapers. Wait, 2 February 1941. No, that can't. It's been 39 years? That's impossible. This is a nightmare. I think we were supposed to discover that before we found this, but whatever. Okay, so nowhere for us to go there, but we can go down, I believe. Nice. You can see the tree branches out there, waving in the moonlight. Books about magic? Not a science I'm familiar with. This one looks different. The building and renovation of churches. I think I remember hearing about a chapel in the woods near the manor. So, some sort of horse? Father may not have been fond of horses, but this statuette is gorgeous. But I don't remember it either. There's a massive book on this shelf. It must be important. I might be somewhat altered, but even so, there's no way I can read that book without finding a way to get it off the showcase. Showcase is locked. I can't get a hold of the book on the shelf. Okay. There's a notice here. Mother, since you will not listen to reason, I must stop you myself. I apologize for stealing your notes, but I see no other way. Gabriel may be the oldest, but he has no idea what you are up to. I will be back for young Edward and Robert. I forbid you from trying anything with them, or you will dearly regret it. This has all gone on long enough. Farewell, A. And she didn't have any comment about that? Seems like she would have. There's only this light to illuminate the whole room. It's all so dark and oppressive. I don't recognize Father's handwriting on this notebook. Ah, here's the symbols. Writing a journal had never interested me up until now, but these past few days I felt the need for it. All of these things are crowding my mind, and I can rarely sleep. I found Father's precious notes today. I discovered what took up all his time. An incredible collection of documents, vague references, and crazy writings about demons and seals. Names I know nothing about, enigmatic symbols, drawings, and a huge number of documents. Documents he used to share with my sweet Abigail an eternity ago. My first instinct was to close this box and put it back where I found it, but curiosity is consuming me. I'm avidly reading Father's documents, and am starting to make sense of them. Maybe he wasn't as mad as his isolation let it on. What I took for a time-consuming hobby was actually an in-depth study of an ancient cult named Goetia. The idea of it still seems crazy, and maybe it is. Goetia was used to call forth demons and ask questions or favors of them. A very human tradition, but these summonings seem to have been possible. My father seemed interested in 5 of these demons. Malphus is the one I can read for sure there. Forus and Neburius look like the last 2. These notes are very detailed about rituals, formulas, personalities of each entity, strengths and weaknesses. I have difficulties believing they really exist. However, Father's studies are so thorough and precise that I'm beginning to have doubts. Curiosity is guiding me towards knowledge. I tried some of the rituals this past week. I'm happy I can isolate myself, as I feel somewhat ridiculous saying out loud the summoning words taken from a strange language. I have had no success yet. This quest is consuming me. I spend entire days writing down the questions I want to ask the demons, as well as the behaviors and words I should avoid in their presence. I chose Malphus. He seems to be the less deranged of the demons among those I read about, and I hope he is not so dangerous. But he doesn't seem to hear me. I'm growing desperate. War is coming. I can feel it. The people of Oak Marsh are different, nervous. The enemy is far from our front door, however, and I can't stop but feeling they are reacting strangely to my own presence. I couldn't explain this feeling. I feel feverish, confused. I can't sleep. I can't believe it. Malphus answered. I first perceived an undescribable noise, as if a huge hammer was hitting the walls around me. Then a wind filled the room, coming from under the doors. I swear I heard the rustle of feathers, as if thousands of birds were flying around the room when he started speaking to me. I froze, too stunned to utter a single word. Malphus is someone. Malphus is a particularly charismatic demon. My first thoughts went to my beloved sister. Abigail would have been so impressed, astonished, moved. I asked the questions I craved answers for. Was Abigail with him? Could he find her? He laughed. Malphus has a very charming laugh, very soft. He told me he couldn't bring her back, but that she was well. I should feel calm, but my thirst for answers isn't calmed. Malphus and I are growing to know each other. It feels so strange to write it thus, and even more strange to live it. This demon is particularly caring, and I sometimes forget he is an entity by far superior to us poor humans. It seems I am for him a welcome distraction. He has had little occasion to talk with the living these past 5 millennia. I sometimes think of my dear Joseph, and I feel a guilty relief that he should no longer be of this world. If Father were still alive, my research and my success would have surely filled him with pride. And Abigail, who often mocked my terror when faced with Father's experiments, can she only see me today? Would you be proud of your older sister? I keep my research far from the children's reach. They are too young to understand what's at stake. But maybe I can start talking about it with Gabriel. I'm looking forward to sharing my knowledge of the rituals tied to Goetia. But maybe they suspect something. Alexander seems wary lately. They are here. They started bombing London yesterday. Mrs. Matthews and her husband left Oakmarsh a few days ago, leaving behind everything. I'm worried. In what world will my children grow up? Can I even imagine what tomorrow will look like? When I asked Malphus, he had this amused look he often has, the one that annoys me so much. Arrogant heap of feathers. He doesn't care, of course. Hell is a place much more calm than Earth, he said. I exchanged a few words with Elias today, the pastor. I couldn't stand not sharing my research, but his reaction surprised me. He told me he had been waiting for this day impatiently. Who else than me could know so much on the subject? The pastor offered his help. How could a man of God conduct such research, trying to call forth demons? I think I'll accept his offer. I only browse through some of Father's work, and the demon invocation is only a small part of Goetia. I can't count on Malphus, who doesn't want to answer my questions on the subject. That malicious bird can laugh as much as he wants. I'll get my answers. Oakmarsh is now empty. I have a ghost town at my door. Goetia isn't a discreet art, and I suppose the last rituals convinced the bravest of them to leave their home. Let them go. I don't need their idiotic prejudices. When our enemies will be at our doors, at last I will have something to welcome them with. Gabriel, my sweet Gabriel, I was sure you'd understand. I love you so much. Robert, Edward, I hope you will understand the importance of this quest. There is no hope left. I won't be here when these disgusting invaders arrive, but let them try and get close to my children. They will regret it. Come and colonize Oakmars. See what I care. None of these short-sighted villagers supported me when I needed it. They don't deserve to be remembered. But if they come inside Blackwood Manor, I will rain down hell on them. Thank you, Anton Elias, Pastor. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. Everything will soon be ready. I won't be here to see the world crumble. You don't look as arrogant and mocking as before, Malphus. Don't worry. I'm not without a heart. You won't be alone. A few friends will join you. The spell is sealed. Abigail, wait for me, please. Hear me. Heed my call. Well, that is a lot of information in one book. Let's see what's in the drawer here. Pencils, notebooks, and newspapers. Nothing that we need then. There's another book here that's got glowy things coming off it, so it's probably important. These books seem important. They're well worn. Have you ever heard the story of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun? Let me tell you our version of that ancient story. A man who thought himself a great alchemist and master of the elements of nature found an old forgotten grimoire that would teach him to summon demons and command them to carry out whatever he wanted. Now, this man gained his power by following the lead of those before him. That is to say, he had used the results from experiments performed by other masters to appear wise to those around him. However, while he was good at applying that which he had learned from others, his ability to think on his own feet and to reason was lacking. This man loved a woman whom he had never spoken to. He watched her from afar, admiring her beauty and dreaming of what it would be like if she was his wife. He spent so much time in a world of fantasy where she was his that his obsession had started to take a toll on him. He couldn't sleep, eat, and became isolated from his friends. The directions in the book were clearly laid out, and because of his adeptness at following instructions in his alchemical manuals, he thought he would master demons as quickly as he mastered alchemy. Out of desperation for this woman, he summoned a demon called Beleth, who it was said could create love between a man and a woman. Sensing his desperation, the demon came to his summons, and the man was sure that it was his skill that brought Beleth to him so quickly. He commanded the demon to bring his love to him with haste, and without harm befalling her. The demon laughed, saying it was an easy task, as the woman felt the same way as the man, but he would require a single action from the man to ensure success. Ecstatic, the man agreed to do whatever Beleth needed to accomplish the task. The demon dictated a love letter to him, telling him to send it to his love on a specific date, using the exact words he gave him. After the man dismissed the demon, he immediately wrote the letter that Beleth had dictated to him, word for word, and set it aside, waiting for the appointed day to mail his note. When the day came to mail the letter, his love went to a spiritualist to speak to her beloved mother who had passed when she was young. When the medium called the spirit of her mother, Beleth came in disguise and told her of the letter that she would receive. He told her that the man who wrote it was a necromancer and meant to do her family harm. Knowing exactly what the man had written, Beleth easily scared off the man's love and destroyed his reputation in the process. Like Icarus, his overconfidence had destroyed him. However, we learn one more lesson. Without the ability to reason, to create, and innovate, a master is not a master. Never take what you read or see at face value, and that includes everything and anything that I write you. Interesting. Thanks for watching this episode of the Let's Play for Goetia. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and click the subscribe button so you know when I'm posting videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.